Hi, my name is Sarah and I am an English teacher and language anxiety coach. In this video, I want to share a little story with you about my nephew, in fact, and how we have managed to create a new routine for him with the idea that if a 13-year-old kid can start a new routine, I'm pretty sure you can too. So before I tell you about my little nephew, let's just think very quickly about routines and why they matter. So we all have lives that are very busy. We all have work, we have families, we have hobbies, we have all kinds of commitments and responsibilities. And sometimes I guess life can feel very busy and it can feel very difficult for us to find the time to do the things that we need to do, but also that we want to do. It doesn't have to be just about work and study. You might want to make a new routine of doing yoga 4 times a week, or you might want to make a routine of going running or reading a book. Routines are not just for work. Now, some of us kind of have other people's routines that we have to follow. So if you've got a job, you probably have a routine of some sort because you have to be at work and you have to finish work at this time. And maybe you've got a meeting at 10 o'clock. So for some of us in some situations, routines are kind of given to us by other people. And this might be the same if you're a student or if you're at school. But for other people, and even if you're a student or you go to work, there will be times in your life where you don't have routines, maybe in the evenings or in the mornings, or maybe you only work 3 or 4 days a week. And the problem, I think, is that routines, they kind of sound really boring, right? I mean, who wants to have a routine if you've got a day off? You want to be able to be free and you want to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them because you feel inspired and motivated. And that would be great if it worked. And if that does work for you, that's fantastic. But in my experience, both with myself and people that I know, in actual fact, without a routine, things just don't happen, and it's fine to have a day off and take it easy and stuff. But I have certainly found for myself and my life that the more structure I have and the better my routines are, the more I get done. And I mean that with my work, but also things that matter to me. So meditating, exercising, walking my dog, time with people I care about. That stuff happens more because I've got routines. Now, it's not that easy to create new routines, and it's taken me quite a long time of working at home and creating routines. And recently, I started a new project with my nephew. Now, like I said, he's 13, and like most 13-year-old boys, his hobby mostly is playing computer games, right? So he gets up, he goes to school, he comes home from school, he plays computer games for 2 hours, he eats his dinner, and then he does homework, and then he goes to bed. And basically, that's his routine. And the new project that we started was I gave him a book to read. And it's a book about money and looking after money, which I feel is a really important skill for young people. And I told him that if he read the book, I would give him £20. So he's got a little goal there, a little reward for reading this book. Um, and initially, I set him a deadline of 1 month, thinking that would be enough to motivate him. But you know what? He didn't read the book, or he read a little bit and then he forgot, and he just forgot. And I would go and see him, and he would say, "Oh, I don't have time. I haven't got time to read this book." And I thought, I think maybe that might not quite be true. So I asked him questions like, "Well, Brian, how much time do you spend on computer games, and how much time do you spend playing Xbox, and how much time do you do all this stuff? And you know what? He's spending at least 2 hours a day playing computer games. So I figure if he has got 2 hours free for computer games, I'm pretty sure we can find 10 minutes where he can read a book. So we talked about his daily routine in detail. And it turns out that when he gets home from school, actually, before he starts to play on, on the computer and play computer games, he just takes a little rest. And he has a special place in his room on the floor. He's got a nice blanket so he can lie down. And he said, yeah, I go there every day and I just relax for 20 minutes. And so I said, well, Ryan, could you maybe put the book on your blanket so that when you lie down, your book is there and you see the book? And he said, yeah, I can do that. And then I said, well, Ryan, do you think you can make a little post-it note with a little reminder on the book to say set timer on phone? And he said, yeah, I can do that. So he had a little post-it note, one of these sticky things, on his book, and he set that for 5 minutes. And he put the post-it note on the book, and he put the book on his blanket. And the next week, he started to send me WhatsApp messages. And he said, Auntie Sarah, I've read for 5 minutes today. And then on Tuesday, Auntie Sarah, I've got to chapter 5 today. And the next day, Auntie Sarah, I've got to chapter 6. And I'm so happy. Number one, I'm really happy that we are kind of creating this routine for him to read because it's really important. But I'm really happy also that he has learned that to make a new routine, you have to attach it to an old routine. So my nephew's new routine is reading a book every day after school. The old routine is I'm going to go home from school and lie under my blanket. So we take the new routine and we attach it to the old one. And it's worked great. He reads pretty much every day for 5 to 10 minutes after school. And that is enough for a 13-year-old kid. 5 to 10 minutes reading every day. Perfect. That's great. So this is something that I would really encourage you to consider. Now, you may not be a 13-year-old kid coming home from school, but if you've got a new routine, whatever that new routine is, and you are struggling to remember to do it, you need to maybe find an old routine and attach them together. Because the old routine is part of what you do. You do it every day or every week or whenever. And by joining them up together, you make it much more likely that you will do this new routine. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you have any comments about this, please do leave it below. I'm always happy to talk to people, and routines are something I love to talk about. Thank you so much for watching this video, and go create new routines.